In this episode, we're talking about games about fighting corruption, games with amazing soundtracks, and games with lots and lots of cards. This and more on Indie Game Arcade. Welcome back to Indie Game Arcade, a podcast that deep dives into the latest and greatest indie games. I'm your nostalgic punk rock princess. My name's Chris.
And I'm your banana-brained roguelite raider. I'm Joseph.
Okay, so banana, because monkey, because monkey, big monkey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was your banana-brained bruiser, but then I was like, then it's going to be like Wizard and the Bruiser, which also do that name thing, and like, no, I don't want to sound like I'm completely tearing into that, but they don't do it anymore.
Yeah, they're not Wizard and the Bruiser anymore. So now we can take everything they ever did. Hey, we can use it for ourselves. We'll just repurpose.
We're bringing it back then. Yeah,
we'll repurpose it. Speaking of other podcasts, I'm not going to talk about other podcasts, but I am going to talk about real quick award shows, because we've had both the Video Game Awards and the Indie Game Awards, and they were both really fun. I don't know if you got to watch either of them. The Indie Game Awards literally just took place like a couple hours ago as of recording this. So
I watched the other Game Awards, Game of the Year Awards or whatever.
You watched Claire Obscure
the
win
Jeff
everything.
Keighley ones.
Yeah,
and then it looks like that happened again, or at least like the big prize Game of the Year.
They did win Game of the Year.
The Indie one too.
Yeah, and let's be honest, like the amount of hate that people are having right now for it is so forced. For Claire Obscure. There's so many people that are just like, why? I've never even heard of this game, and it's French.
I don't know what portion of the internet you're looking at, but you're bringing so much hate, and I'm like, I don't know where you're seeing these things. Maybe you're seeking it out, but I'm like,
it's all the FPS bros out there are super mad about this.
It seems like they'd just be upset that Call of Duty didn't make it, and probably never will again.
Yeah. It's like streamers like Shroud and stuff are livid about this, and it's just like, then you're not tuned into gaming. Like this kind of goes with my the thing I was talking about last week a little bit, and I'm like, man, if you haven't even heard of Claire Obscure, how do you even call yourself a gamer at this point? That doesn't even make sense to me.
I haven't finished Claire Obscure, so I don't know that I would give it to that game. Out of all the options I'm seeing here for the Indie Game Awards, I think my choice would probably be Silksong, with Hades 2 as a runner-up. Oh, God, Absalom's on here, too. I don't know, man. Yeah. Absalom would be real high on my list.
Yeah,
because that's one I spent a ton of time in.
I don't think any of those three won any awards. I don't think they did.
Yeah. That's real disappointing to me, but I'm at least glad that Peak won a couple, at least in this show.
It did, and very deserved. Very deserved.
Yeah, Peak is one I still go back to every once in a while.
Especially their community management award, because I always see videos and updates and stuff from them, and they're always really fun too. So
they have such a great dev team. It's great.
Oh, absolutely.
Amazing game.
Absolutely. I was also really happy to see Urban Myth Dissolution Center win something.
I don't know what that is, but good for them.
Dude, that was one that I brought up really early in the year, I think. I want to say it was probably
it's
February,
gone,
something like that. Yeah, it was kind of spooky visual novel mystery kind of game thing.
Okay, visual novel. Yeah, I probably watched it.
As soon as I say that, you're like, oh, yeah. I tuned out during that episode.
A little disappointed that Megabonk didn't get anything. I mean, I know they pulled out of the regular Game Awards because it's supposedly the developer is someone going under a pseudonym. So he's like, this isn't technically my first game, so I don't want to even be part of that and take that from
who is he?
First time developers. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
but I saw that he was at least here in a solo dev award, but he did not win it. Tall Trails did. I'm not sure what that is.
That one's like a 3D, I think, action adventure platformer kind of thing, if I remember right. I haven't played that one, but like I can picture it. I remember watching the developer do updates and stuff like that. I was following him on TikTok for a while, but not one that I got my hands on this year. Okay. So many games I didn't get my hands on.
But Megabonk, man.
Yeah, right?
Actually, Tall Trails looks like a bunch of dittos like interacting with each other, like from Pokemon.
They do have that ditto face, for sure. It's cute, though. I love that. But we have a lot of games to talk about in our episode today.
Oh, yeah. So we should probably start talking about those.
To the point that I am going to have to keep a really close eye on our clock today because we have so many. I was expecting that like we'd come back because we recorded a double episode last time. So we were off for a week because I was out of town. Now we're back and I was like, oh, I brought like a couple games. And then you're like, I played 37 games. And I'm like, shit, dude. All right.
Well, it's been 2 weeks and
I know.
Just good games keep coming out.
I know. Guys, it's December. It is December. Everyone's working on their Game of the Year lists. You know, we obviously just had 2 awards things. We're going to do our thing starting next week. Why did you release so many like at the last second?
There was some real like killer releases super recently too. So it's like some that could be like Game of the Year contenders if they had come out a little earlier.
Easy. Some of I'm gonna go into it, but I can tell you right now, it's the best soundtracks I've heard all year. No offense to Claire Obscure, because that soundtrack's amazing. My wife has been listening to it all day today because she's been home baking stuff, and then she heard it, and then she's like, "Ooh, I'm adding that to my phone," and that's what I've been hearing all day. But yeah, 2 soundtracks from 2 different games I'm going to talk about today are officially my favorite soundtracks of the year, and they literally just came out within the last couple of weeks. So excited to talk about those. But first, we're going to start with this other one, which is Dunjungle. Game start! Dunjungle was developed by Bruno Bombardi, published by Astrolabe Games. I think is it Astrolabe? It's got an E on the end. Otherwise, I would have said Astrolab. I don't know. Released December 10th.
I guess Astrolabe is maybe right.
I don't know, man. Maybe the E is silent. I don't know. Released December 10th, 2025. Retails for $9.99. And for a quick description, this is a 2D action roguelike starring a heroic monkey on a mission to save the jungle from a creeping corruption, where you will plunge into procedurally generated dungeons, battle eclectic enemies, earn unlocks, and build your way through dynamic runs filled with weapons, relics, and escalating challenges. Not one that I got to play, but I did study up on it just a little bit before we started. To kind of see that it seems a little like just at a first glance, and I will have you kind of correct me if I'm wrong, almost like Dead Cells, but maybe with like a little bit more simplified to it as far as like the gameplay options and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've seen people compare it to, and I can see that, I guess, in some ways, but in so many other ways, it really stands apart. And this turned into a real surprise gem for me, honestly. Like, I hadn't even heard of it, nor did I know it was coming out. It was just one that I ran across as I was looking for, what's coming out this week, sort of stuff. And actually,
was it an early access?
I think it was, but so it's the 1.0 that is out, and I caught wind of that, and really, I'll thank Steam for it, because like Steam has this thing now. I don't know if you saw it, but it's like their let me find the exact name of it. It's like their release your personal calendar. And if you go to it, it has it laid out by, every day of the month, what new games are coming out that they think would interest you.
No, I had no idea. Where do you find that?
Yeah. If you're on the Steam app and you go to like recommendations on the store page, it'll be right there, like a big block. That's why I think it's like pretty new. It even says new up in the corner of it. So it's got to be new-ish.
Sweet.
And yeah, it just has like a list of games that were released last month in the last 7 days, and then a calendar of upcoming games that you have either wishlisted or you might be interested in. And some of them, for sure, they're spot on. So I don't have to go through all upcoming games anymore and be like, all right, let me go one by one through these. So that's just a really nice like shortcut. So
that's going to make our jobs so much easier, because that's how we've been doing it, is literally going through the upcoming games one by one every month to see every single game that's coming out, and then picking which ones we want to cover.
It's brutal. Yeah. Because
it takes time.
Because there's the popular ones, and then there's like all, and sometimes in the all are some that I want to see that don't. It kind of filtered out of the popular ones, and so it's like I have to see both, and it sucks.
Yeah, I hate missing out on ones. So like I always do the all, and it takes me like an entire day to get through everything when I should probably be doing my actual 9 to 5. So yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times my lunch is spent like I'll eat with one hand and just scroll through the list with the other.
Smart.
Just to see what's coming out. But no, we've got the calendar now, so that's great. Yeah. So Dunjungle, which I'm assuming is just dungeon with jungle tagged onto the end. It's kind of like the worst combination of names.
Idiot. I didn't get that. Okay. All right.
Like it doesn't really even have any like wordplay or anything involved in it though. So it's kind of just, I don't know. It's a weird combo. It's fine.
Kind of like suits the personality of the game a little bit though, right?
Yeah, like it makes sense.
Goofy. So
yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, it is about a heroic monkey that's protecting the jungle. So, it's fine. So the combat's like really fast and fluid. Dead Cells like in the sense that like you have your dodge roll, you're getting a ton of different weapons as you go through. You get your primary like melee weapon, and then up to 3 other either ranged or magic weapons that you're picking up along the way as well. You get all sorts of elements that you can attach to the weapons, like fire, ice, electricity. Those all do different things depending on what weapon they're attached to. There are 15 or more unlockable classes. You'd start as just like the base monkey, but then as you start doing things and achieving different things, you'll unlock those different classes, which are basically just like, if you think like Mario in a Tanuki suit, it's just this monkey wearing like a cat suit or something, and like in the cat suit, he's like a rogue class. So now a lot of his other stats get like, reduced, but his like dodge roll, his speed, and like his crit chance get higher. So there's a trade-off for everything you're trying to do. And I thought it was really interesting the way that they really brought classes into this in that way, because now it's something else for me to like seek out and try to obtain. There's so many unlockables in this, and just when you look at all the weapons, when you go back to your like home base thing that there are to unlock, and they're not all just unlockable right away. It's like, there's just it's so juicy as far as like stuff to sink your teeth into, and just different sort of pathings you can take. You have to take a certain path like the first time you beat a level, but then the next time you come in, you can go this other route, which takes you to a completely different dungeon and a different type with a different boss and stuff. So there's a lot there, and I've played through and beaten it a couple times, but it still feels like every run is like a new thing for me, a new experience, depending on what weapon I'm using or what class I've chosen, or just what weapon I've run across, or, what are they called? Just the like equipment things, the trinkets or whatever that you're getting as you go through. You can get so many of those in a run as well, and those all do different things. So it's like a good mishmash of what I really just love about roguelike games. And it's got this nice fluid combat that is, it's punishing when you get hit. You will take a lot of damage, but it's also you can avoid hits very easily too if you're careful. So I like that trade-off there where it's not too easy, but it's also sometimes just on you if you get hit, because like, I could have easily dodged that or just gotten out of the way or whatever. So yeah, that's a fun kind of trade-off for me.
I'm really digging the variability in the like bosses and stuff. I'm seeing like different pictures and stuff. There's like a lizard Dracula. There is a Cthulhu. There's a giant frog king that looks like he's got a big spiky tongue.
That frog is hard because his tongue goes so fast and it doesn't really telegraph much. Like, he's about to do it, but when it happens, like, you have to have like a crazy reaction time because it will dart right toward wherever you are. And I've gotten hit by it so many times. I think that's my least favorite first boss to fight because he is just, to me, that's unpredictable as far as like how fast that thing comes out. I'm just never ready for it.
It seems like there's just so many. And like, I really, really like the design of everything too. Like, we haven't talked about the sprite design or anything, but like, when I was talking about how like it is kind of like a silly, goofy sort of game, you can kind of see a little bit of that in the designs and everything too. And also in that, like, you can get like costumes, and I love that.
Yeah, that's what the classes are.
Okay, yeah. Seeing them in the little like T-Rex costume is so good. That's funny as hell.
All those costumes do come with like whatever stats. I don't know what the T-Rex would be like. I don't know. But like the cat is the rogue. There's a frog wizard one that's literally like a frog costume with a wizard hat on.
That's amazing.
There's a bunch of different stuff, but it's really cool. Just the variety that you have there. The build variety, the run variety, and just the fast-paced action of it makes it just a really fun surprise for me towards the end of the year.
And there's a button just to make monkey noises. So like,
absolutely.
What's not to like about that?
And you can like free these other monkeys, like one in each of the areas that will just follow you around and help you the rest of the run if you choose to. When you get back to your base, there's this snake who, well, actually along the run, there's this like snake who will help you out. And it's like, all right, I'll poison you for a little bit, and it's going to make you, I don't know, there's a couple different things you can do. It's either you're going to take more damage, you are partially blind until you kill 10 enemies, which means just your vision range just gets like really compact until you kill 10 enemies. But out of that, you're getting an epic relic or something. It's like, nice. Okay, cool. It was kind of worth the trade-off. So there's a good like push-pull here, risk-reward system that I am really enjoying.
What's been your favorite like build or run that you've had so far?
It was probably the cat run where I was the like rogue cat because I was attacking so fast, and my crit rate was so high that like I was just doing so much damage, like way more than I expected to. The run before that though was actually really fun because I don't remember what the costume was exactly, but you are essentially just like summoning minions for yourself. So your attack like is kind of low and whatnot, but like every time you attack, you summon like some sort of minion assistance, like some either frogs that are jumping, a random like crow that homes on people, just a variety of different sort of little animals you can pick up. And so your attack basically is just like leading this mob of minions. And by the end of that run, that was one of the runs I won. There were just so many things happening on the screen. Like I didn't really have to do anything. I would just hit a couple times and then the screen would just fill up with just my minions and they would do most of the work. So it was like really satisfying to see it all kind of come together at the end. Again, you're still like so squishy though. So just because you feel overpowered, you can still be taken out in a couple hits if you're not careful. But that's just really fun to see all of that playing out.
That's awesome, man. It looks so fun. So, usually like not, I mean, I do like some of the action roguelike kind of things. Usually not my cup of tea, but it's just so cool looking and so fun that like, I think this is definitely one that I'm going to want to try out and see. So yeah, looks cool.
Yeah. Give it a shot for sure. Especially since it's on the family shared thing. So why not? You got nothing to lose.
Family. That was my best Vin Diesel. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I wasn't sure where that was going. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's go to our next game then, which is Unbeatable.
New game!
Unbeatable was developed by D-Cell Games, published by PlayStack, released on December 9th, 2025. Retails for $27.99. And for a quick description, this is a narrative-driven rhythm adventure set in a world where music is illegal. You play as a woman named Beat, rebelling against the system through rhythm battles, concerts, and intimate character moments. This is one of the best soundtracks I've heard all year. This music is my jam, hands down. It's also the best tone in a game I've experienced all year. If I could, the best way I can describe this is Scott Pilgrim meets Jet Set Radio meets FLCL. That is you put all three of those things in a blender, you're going to get this game. It's also one of the best looking games that I have seen all year. And it's kind of that anime sort of look, very much like in that FLCL sort of look where things are sort of faded, a little pastel in some ways, and then other colors are really pop, like the yellows and pinks and stuff are very vibrant while everything else is a little bit more faded. It's like a 2.5D in that where the characters are moving around, they're all 2D, but against the background, which is 3D, which makes for some really cool effects. However, it's not a perfect game. It definitely has the most glaring pacing problem I think I have actually ever experienced in a game, which is a really, really big mood killer when it comes to the story. Luckily, there are 2 modes to this game. I don't know if you had known that or if you tried the demo or anything.
No, I have no idea.
This. So there's a story mode, and then there's also an arcade mode. And those are going to sound exactly like what they are. So the story mode is you going through this 8 to 10 hour story, I think probably closer to the longer side, where you are going through this narrative, and it's presented in chapters, I think 6 total. And the arcade mode is really more of a Rift of the Necrodancer kind of thing of just doing songs and stuff like that.
Doing the fun part.
Doing the fun part, that's right. I'll talk about how the rhythm stuff kind of works and everything because it's really interesting. But going back into the story mode real quick because that's where I spent the most of my time. I haven't finished the game, but what I did was I played through chapters 1 through 3. Chapters 1 and 2 are, and this is where that pacing problem comes in. And I've seen a lot of people kind of with their own reviews kind of bring this up as well and really agree with this. Is that the first 2 chapters drag a lot. And they make this really weird choice of, I'm not going to say this because I don't want to spoil anything. But you get put in a situation that really takes you, sort of puts you in a place where you don't have a lot of freedom to move around and do a lot of stuff. Which seems just very against the grain for what this game is wanting to do. And just it feels very constrained when this game feels like it shouldn't be constrained. It's not giving you much of all the things that you really want from the game in those first 2 chapters until you get towards the end of each of those chapters. But once you get to the end of chapter 2, it really is one of the most epic gaming experiences I've had all year. It is fantastic. Once I got into chapter 3, things were way more open. There was way more stuff to do. That was when the fun really started to kick in for me. And that's when where at first I felt like I was kind of let down a little bit. Chapter 3 was where I was things started to click and I was okay, I'm really starting to enjoy my time with this thing. Getting to know these characters way better, doing these different mini games and stuff. There's a batting cage mini game that I did, and that's where I was just you know what? I'm 100% in. This is great. The music is so good. The characters are just really well written. They're believable. They're very, very funny. It's this very funny, witty, fast-paced dialogue between all the characters that I really, really like. But the story does get serious and has a lot of emotional beats as well. And I don't want the ending spoiled, but I have heard it gets very emotional where a lot of people are just I was in tears at the end. And I'm all right, I don't know what happens yet, but I'll have to wait till I get there. But let's talk about the rhythm part because that's, it's a rhythm game. Really, you only have 2 buttons you have to worry about. Punching or you're kicking up. because you're like getting in, like all the rhythm games are like basically battles, right? Where you're like facing off against these weird creatures or like cops or bosses or something. And it's like to the beat, and there's like other things that might happen where you have to dodge something or block something or tap really fast instead of like holding something. Or sometimes they do have the thing where you got to hold the button. But even though it's only two buttons that you have to worry about, there is so much happening on the screen when you're doing it. Like visually clocking everything really does start to take some skill. Like it just gets harder and harder and harder. But like it makes it so that even though it'll take a little bit of time to master it, but like once you start getting into it, man, you feel amazing once you start like nailing some of those beats and stuff. And like the animation of the fight scenes and stuff, because beat is punching and kicking and blocking to you landing those hits, it looks fantastic. And you really feel a part of it way more than I've felt in a lot of other rhythm games and stuff. So it was such an interesting and really, really fun experience. The game hits on that part of me that like 17-year-old version of me that was like super full of angst and angry at authority and stuff. Seeing corruption and stuff where I grew up, because I definitely found myself on the wrong end of some, unfair police things at the time. And this game does not shy away from that stuff. It is like a really big part of some of the message and stuff is fighting back against those kinds of things. Something that still really hits home today with, some of the stuff that we see on the news and social media right now. So it's like, it really channeled those feelings I had then. It still connects with me now as like a 40-year-old man that still loves the hell out of some punk rock music. So yeah, this was a super fun experience. That those pacing issues aside, I really do wish that like that had been tightened up more and would have been better, because I think it would have made for a more perfect gaming experience. But it's like those things that it's like once I got through those 2 chapters, it's like I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm enjoying it. I would play the rest of it. I think it's one that you would get into on the arcade side of things and really get interested in it. When the story hits those action beats, I think you would like those parts. But I think for you specifically, I think you would find the parts in between, I think, would drag too much for you. And I think there's a lot of other people that are finding that same thing.
Yeah, that looks like a show I would watch. Then I would probably try the arcade mode out, but I don't think it's one I would want to do the whole story of, because it's hard for me even in a game like Rift of the Necrodancer to do that, because it's like I just want to play the songs, and the story is like make me go through all these things. It's like I'm sure it's a fun story, but just let me do what I'm here for, which is to play those songs.
This is a game, like for sure there was so many points in it that I was like, my God, I wish this was an anime. This would be so good. I have no disillusions that that's going to be something they're going to do. I don't think at all, because they've definitely told the story they want to tell. It definitely has an ending, and I don't see them going anywhere else with this whatsoever. I kind of hope that before I finish the game myself, like I know that they've been doing some updates and stuff. I'm kind of hoping that maybe they'll fine tune a few things, but we'll see. We'll see.
It kind of feels like what killed the music, like gave me is like enough of what this game would, even though this game leans more heavily into the, on-screen rhythm aspect of it. Like Kill the Music was just such a great like game that had it benefited you to be on beat in some cases, but it wasn't like always necessary. And the main draw to it was the roguelike aspect of it, and where I could just kind of jump in, experience the story, and kind of like enjoy it in sections instead of having to go all the way through. So I don't know that I would like ever play this game independently, but if it's in the shared thing, if you do end up picking it up, that's probably when I would try it.
The arcade mode too, like it has a lot of tracks, and like I'm looking at the page now, it says it's got like 76 bass tracks just in the standard edition alone. So it's got quite a bit. And I know that there's like a different unlocks and there's different difficulty settings and things to like make it harder. And so there's a lot of like reasons to for the people that just want to do that stuff and keep coming back for that. Yeah, I think that the rhythm part of this game really is the strong suit, like that and the music. Like I would say the rhythm part of this game, I loved Kill the Music. I think this is better as far as like the rhythm part. I just, I love this story. I just wish it had been more concise. Then I would have been like, this is a perfect game for me. But yeah, it definitely has, a few things to be desired, but it's still a fantastic game. Power up! Well, hey, if you're enjoying this episode so far, do us a favor, throw us a like, a follow, share the episode of the podcast with folks who love indie games so we can get more of these game recommendations out there and support indie game devs. We also have our YouTube channel at youtube.com/nerdsloth where you can catch us playing more indie games or check out our top 5 and top 10 series for even more indie game recommendations because we believe there's an indie game out there for everyone. Combo! Let's talk about some other indie games we've been playing this week. So the first one we're going to talk about is Death Howl, which was developed by The Outer Zone, published by 11-Bit Studios, released on December 9th. And for a quick description, it's a dark emotional deck builder where a grieving mother journeys through the spirit world using ritualistic card combat to confront loss and the supernatural. This is the one that was supposed to be a Souls-like deck builder. It's a deck builder that is definitely hard, for sure. I'm terrible at this game.
It's a Souls-like in the sense that yes, it's challenging, but also when you die,
you gotta get your stuff back.
You get your stuff back, and when you're hurt, you need to like rest at the bonfire kind of thing, or whatever the little things are, and that resets all the enemies in the area. So in that way, very much a Souls-like, but obviously not in the action-packed kind of dodge roll kind of thing because it's a turn-based card game, tactical card game.
How did you feel about it? Because I'm not gonna bullshit. I did not get very far.
I'm really liking it so far, but it's one that I have to kind of chip away at because there's a lot of back and forth. And maybe there will be a point where I get like such a good kind of build going with my deck that it'll kind of flow more freely. But at this point, it's like, okay, I can do like a battle. But then by the time that last battle's over, there's not really, a way to heal. There are some cards that can do it in battle, but there's not like, your health potions or anything that you have like in Dark Souls, at least not yet where I am in the game. So I have to go back and rest, and then I have to like fight some of those same enemies again because they're in the way of where I need to go. I can't like go around them. Yeah. So that's where it's
they block off your path.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm getting stronger and I'm getting better cards and whatnot, but it is like a slower kind of progression, which makes sense for this type of gameplay. And it's not like a roguelike in so many ways. I mean, it is and it isn't because of the build aspect of it that you kind of have going on, but it's more so a tactical deck builder, Souls-like. Okay, so it also doesn't reset everything that happens, to my knowledge, if you die. Actually, I haven't died in a while, so I don't remember if it actually resets you.
God damn it.
Well, because I'll do a few battles, I'll go back to the bonfire and rest. No, it doesn't reset it because you can go and pick up your souls. So if you die, then it's not resetting you back to the beginning. So in that way, it's not really a roguelike as much, even though it has that in one of its labels. But I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's a really good game. It just definitely takes some patience.
I do love the art style and the lore behind it, though. Like, that's so cool. Stuff that really has me intrigued, for sure.
And there's so many, like, hidden areas, too, that I'm kind of running across.
Yeah. I mean, at least, like, I was able to find a couple, like, hidden things that at least that made me feel a little good, that I was like, hey, even if I suck at this, at least I'm good at exploring. So there's that. Even if I can barely kill a pig, at least I can find things. Go me.
Positioning is everything in this game. Like, You got to just kind of know how far away you need to be from those damn snails so they can't hit you every turn, because then they'll poison you, and that poison sucks.
I can't tell you how many times I've died to that because it's too embarrassing. So I hope there's not something keeping track of that.
Oh,
please
I hope
tell
there
me
is.
there's nothing
Like snail deaths. No. It's an achievement.
Let's not do this. Our next game is Kingdom of Night, which was developed by Friends of Safety, published by Dangan Entertainment, or Dangan Entertainment, which thank you very much to the publisher for sending this to us, by the way. Released December 2nd, 2025, retails for $19.99, and this is an 80s-inspired isometric action RPG, so many words, where a small desert town is overrun by demons and cosmic horror, blending nostalgia with dark fantasy. I mean, feels so much in the vein of Stranger Things, and I know that when they were on their release, they were very much aligning it kind of like when Stranger Things came out, as just like, hey, like Stranger Things, check out our game. Because it does have like a lot of the similar vibes, but almost like if you had like a more adult version of like the Dungeon Master from like, I was thinking the D&D cartoon or something, but like an old wizard dude shows up and he's just like, you've been chosen, like you're gonna have to fight the things.
Oh yeah,
and
come meet me at the bar.
I love it. Like I love that part of it though. Like that's so cool to me.
Yeah, how far have you gotten in that game?
Not super far, because like I definitely struggle with that first boss, that werewolf. So
I was about to say, like, I feel like the combat is very easy. Which class did you choose? Or
I just went for was it barbarian?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I went knight.
Berserker. Okay.
So the knight's thing is like, he just has like a really powerful parry, but I don't end up using it a lot because it's very sensitive to like the hit boxes or just the hit timing. So more than that, I use dodge, and I can get through most of my battles without getting hit, because it's like,
wow.
Yeah, I don't think it's like super challenging combat yet, but I'm super early on also. Like I beat the werewolf boss, and I think I beat another like boss after that, some like crazy like demon dog boss. He was pretty cool. Yeah, like I haven't died in the game yet, but I'm still probably in like, I don't know, what might be the first chapter of it.
Sure.
But I'm enjoying it. Like it's cool. Like I like the open-ended quest aspect of it. The combat's fun. Yeah. There is a magic aspect to it. I learned it in a tutorial, but I haven't utilized it after that because it was like, that's too much for me to think about, because there's like, you have to combine.
I did the same thing.
You combine spells to like do different spells. So it seems really cool. It's just not something I wanted to try out on my first time through, because it's just too much for me to like keep on the top of my head. So instead, I just have like at this point, I have a big axe, but you start out with a baseball bat when you're a melee fighter, and you just go and like beat up zombies, basically.
I really dig the atmosphere of it. Like they nailed the 80s vibe of it. It feels good. It feels like you really are stepping into something like Stranger Things or, some like 80s horror film of the era. So yeah, it's really good. Honestly, I think more people need to check this one out.
Yeah, they really do lean into the tropes, so good and bad. I'll say that there's some questionable language, but it's like, it's of the time.
Definitely.
So it's like, well, it's fine with me because like I literally grew up in that era, and it's like true.
Yeah,
like it's how it was. But I just want to give a heads up for people who see that and are like, oh no, because like, it's nothing like super bad, at least not yet. But something to be aware of.
I just say if you're sensitive to those kind of things, then like, just a heads up for it, because it might make you a little uncomfortable for sure.
Yeah, but so do a lot of like 80s horror movies if you watch them with today's lens. Yeah.
The movies will be worse. The next game is Barely Brave for $14.99. This is a challenging roguelike deck builder where you are a bear that is newly brought into the toy shop, and you have to like battle to be up on the shelf, and you're battling other bears. And you talked about this, I think, on one of our episodes about like one of the Steam Next Fest episodes.
It was a Next Fest episode that I had tried it out, the demo of it.
Man, it's fun, but man, it is challenging for sure. It took me a little while to kind of get a handle on the stamp system. Is that what it was?
Yeah. With the patch system, because you're patching
the patch system. That's
you're like sewing them into your whatever board there. But yeah, that one so I really like this game. I am gonna say though that it is like pretty challenging to the extent that like I've beaten it a couple times. I've beaten it twice now on the first difficulty and the second one. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm making good progress. But it's like, that's out of, I think, 7 different difficulty levels. Like, I just beat...
Wow.
There's beginner, and then I beat novice, beginner and something else. And then I just unlocked novice, which is like the 3rd difficulty. And then it's like, oh, crap. Like, these first 2 already seem challenging enough. Well, the second one was kind of, I breezed through it because I got lucky with some of my card choices. But, like, normally, if you're trying it out as, like, the basic, I'll just call it a class. Like, you can unlock these different jackets you can wear that give you different, like, starting abilities and starting cards. Like, the one that I just had, like, an extremely good run with was, like, a health build that it automatically like gives me 12 hearts, but it only gives me 6 of the 12 filled in, but I can't regain hearts in between battles. I have to just completely heal up during battle. But I also have some weapons that do more damage the more health that I've lost, or have permanent damage upgrades the more times I've healed in battle, which by the end of that run, I literally was doing 300,000 damage like per hit if I had those specific weapons lined up right. And because it would have that stacked, and I would have like, I would put it in the middle, and then like my middle card hits twice, and then my middle card is also ×2 damage. And so it was just like stacking. Then I had another patch that made my patch that gave it ×2 damage activate again. So it was like ×2
the springs and stuff.
And then ×2 again. And so I was just doing so much damage that I like one shot every level of the boss, basically the last boss.
That's amazing.
It was so good. So it's really satisfying in that way. You can make these like kind of broken builds, but it is it can be really challenging to get to that point, though. So if you're just playing on the basic mode without any of those jacket unlocks, like you're fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Even on the easiest setting.
Yeah. And like, I would say too that like, give yourself some time to get used to it. Especially like getting the little stamps on the cards and stuff, and like figuring out how those are going to like synergize with each other to get the combos. Yeah. I think that was the part that I meant that I was struggling with the most.
Oh, okay.
That I wasn't quite figuring that out for my first few runs. And I'm like, why am I getting stomped so bad? But then eventually, like, I started really understanding that better. And then I started finally, like, really working my way up. So,
yeah, especially on your first, like, few runs before you have any of the other jackets, like, prioritize defense because you are going to need it.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Oh, my God. Yeah, you need defense so bad. It's rough. It's rough out there.
But
don't worry about yellow. Don't worry about the stars like at all your first like run. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Money's not going to save you from being destroyed if you're not defending yourself. But it is like, to its credit, like it is a really satisfying game when things are going your way. When your build is like plotting out correctly, when RNG is being friendly to you and you're getting all the right patches. Like, then it feels like so good to see it all kind of working together. So I am really enjoying it, but I do feel like, I might be wrong, but I do feel like it might get patched in the near future because of just how steep the challenge level is. At this point, only like less than 20% of people have beaten the last boss, even on the easiest mode. So it's like, wow. That should tell you something. I mean, it is relatively new still, so that could be for a variety of reasons. But I'm just telling you, like, right now, you're going to have to give it some time because it's real tough. It's going to be real tough your first few runs.
For our next game here, I'm going to talk about Skate Story. This one I am so excited about, and I was telling you about this offline earlier. This is the other favorite soundtrack of mine. This game is so goddamn good, Joseph. It is so good. So this was developed by Sam Eng, released on December 8th, retails for 1999. Published by Devolver Digital, sorry. This is a surreal skateboarding adventure where you play as a glass demon skating through the underworld on a mission to consume the moon. Yeah, that sounds crazy. I love it. It has this crazy mythology and lore built into it. Very like Dante's Inferno meets Helix, if you know like those games, meets Tony Hawk Pro Skater. It's insane. The premise is crazy. You are making a deal with the devil to get your soul back as long as you promise to eat 7 moons.
Okay.
It is very abstract, but that is what is fun about it. The art, I mean, obviously looking at any of the screenshots or the trailer of it, like the art's obviously very abstract and insane, but so awesome. Like it feels so otherworldly playing this game. I didn't think it was going to be much at first. Like seeing the pictures of it, I was just like, I don't think it really looks like much. Like it looks interesting, but I didn't think it was going to be the experience that it became. But man, if you feel like you're skating through like this dark synth kind of dream, I don't know how to explain it any better than that. And it honestly feels very good to play. Also, falling is actually fun. If you screw up and you fall, you are made of glass. You shatter into pieces.
Yeah. What is the death state like? Do you just like,
what do you mean? Like,
do you reset on the level or you reform?
Yeah, you reset.
Okay.
But yeah, you shatter into pieces and then like the camera rolls. I would caution anyone that might get like motion sick really easily because that camera will go rolling if you're going real fast. But like, dude, it looks so awesome. Doing the tricks feel really good. One thing that I really like about it too is they use timing to do the tricks like better. Like if you're going to do an ollie or something, you're like holding the button, like one of the buttons down like a trigger, and then you have to press B, but you'll see almost like a tiny little racetrack thing come up. And there'll be like a little point on it that if you hit B, like right at that point, you'll like ollie higher in the air. So it's like timing those things in addition to just being able to land them at all will like give you more incentive, like give you more boost to do things better. And sometimes you like really need to be able to land those right to do things. Like if you want to get to certain areas and stuff, like as you're exploring, let's say like an open zone or something.
What is the purpose of doing the tricks aside from mobility? Is there like a scoring system? Are there things you have to fight, or is it just like a straight skate through kind of deal?
You have to destroy the moons by doing some sick tricks. So that's how you do damage to the moons. And you can't just keep doing the same trick because then the moon will be like, meh, it's boring. So like you gotta do all these tricks to damage the moons. And that's how you destroy and eat the moons.
So is it at the end of every level you're fighting you said 7 moons? Is that kind of the setup?
7 total moons that you got to go up against.
Okay.
So like you're doing, it's a fairly linear, like you're going through all these like linear kind of zones and stuff. And sometimes you're like chasing something. Like I was chasing this like metal or glass rabbit thing for a long time. That kind of led me to my first moon. And then that's where like I, had to go up against the moon and do a bunch of tricks and stuff to damage the moon and then ultimately destroy it. Yeah, it was so weird and so cool. Also, the best soundtrack done by Blood Cultures, which is a band that, I didn't know that they were doing this, but it's a band I already listened to. They were all over my Spotify this year. So I was like, oh, sweet. I would say it also suffers a little bit from a few pacing issues also, just with the open stages, because you have a whole slew of linear stages. And then like, I fought a moon and then I was in like a more open stage because I got in trouble with a big philosopher statue and a big eyeball that told me I shouldn't be skating because skating is a sin. And they put me in this jail thing. There's like this big open space. I know this sounds crazy, like I'm on drugs, but I'm not right now in this moment. There's a lot of like open area for you to learn more tricks and go around and do stuff. You feel like you're really tunneling through things in those like linear levels and stuff. And when you get to the open things, then sometimes it feels like you don't have as much direction and it feels like it can drag a little bit.
So
it's still interesting.
Is it like sandboxy where you can do multiple things in those open areas, or is there still just one objective you have to go towards?
No, there's like multiple things, and like it's a little bit more sandboxy. You could buy like a different skateboard deck. There's a lot of different decks, and then there's a few different sets of wheels and trucks that you can put on your board and stuff too. So
it looks real good. I'm gonna try the demo for sure because I assume that's what you played. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And even the demo, man, like it is fantastic. I think you're gonna fall in love with it, honestly.
This is one I've had my eyes on. I didn't look anything up about it, so I wasn't really sure. So I'm glad you brought it here because I wanted to hear like firsthand what it was like.
Yeah, and one thing that I really like about this, and it kind of puts it into perspective a little bit, is that the developer's goal with this was not to make a Tony Hawk Pro Skater kind of game. Like the game is not about landing the tricks and stuff like that. The game is about kind of like focusing on the beauty of the art of skateboarding. And I think it absolutely nails that in spades. And it also does a little bit of a social commentary on the idea of skateboarding as well. There are some things that, like, again, when I kind of mentioned, like, hey, this eye was like mad at me and saying skateboarding is a sin and I got in trouble. There's certain things about that interaction that you will definitely pick up on as being kind of like society and police and other things. It's definitely commentating on like that sort of viewpoint on skateboarding and skateboarding not being allowed in certain things because it's viewed as so counterculture and like, you know, all those things that at least you and I grew up with. I don't think it's maybe it's not as looked at like that as much anymore. I mean, I guess maybe it is. Because I'm not in the circle anymore. Maybe it is still a struggle, but.
Yeah. Is skateboarding still punk rock? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been like 20 something years since I used one. So who knows? But it's a lovely game and like one of the coolest like experiences I've had all year.
The visuals alone sell me on it. So yeah, cool. Totally in.
My next one I want to bring to you is Dead Format. I've talked to you about this one a little bit, and I really want to convince you to play this one because we do have it in our Steam library. So Dead Format was developed by Katana Levy. This was a solo developer, so freaking kudos for this one. Published by Oro Interactive. Thank you so much for sending us a copy of this game, by the way. Released December 10th, 2025, retails for $16.99. This is a survival horror game built around cursed VHS tapes, where each tape drops you into a different nightmare inspired by banned and forgotten films. This is the blueprints of horror games. That is the best way I can describe this. It is basically set in like 1990s Scotland. Your brother is missing. All you can find in his house are cryptic notes and a tape you can play in this weird VHS sort of player, which opens a door to the film. Basically, it is like the developer, in addition to making this game, also made these tiny short, like, you know, minute or so movies that go with each of these VHS tapes. So you're actually watching a little bit of a film. Then when you wander into, like, through that door, you're walking into that film. And they're kind of based on different genres of horror and stuff. So you're basically like, you're trying to find clues to progress, find more tapes, find out what's happened to your brother. There are plenty of like creepy bits and jump scares, but the big appeal to this is the experience. Like, this is a horror game made by a guy who obviously loves horror films. It feels more like a celebration of B horror more than anything. But as far as the gameplay and stuff, it's mostly like stealth survival, some environmental puzzle solving, but there is some combat as well, especially when you get to tape 2. And like there is quite a cameo from the Existence gun, the grossest weapon I've ever seen in any movie. So you do have to do some back and forth between the different movies to like find all the things. But man, there's so much homage to everything. I will say there's definitely some frustration when you meet the main threat and how that threat kind of functions. But the devs actively making a lot of tweaks and using feedback to do so. So it looks and feels awesome, especially being built in Unreal 5. Like, walking through those movies, the atmosphere is unmatched. It is so creepy. So I had a great time with this. I would love to see you give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, this is one I'll give a shot to for sure. I love the look of it. It's like, will I enjoy the gameplay? Oh, that's always a tough part for me and survival games where I'm not getting to interact with much.
Yeah, for you, I feel like that part's a little bit of a toss-up, but like I think you will very much appreciate at least like what this dev has attempted to do, because I feel like this is the kind of game that you and I sit around and think up of like, oh, wouldn't this be cool, because we love horror stuff.
Yeah, I would play it for the experience alone, I think, just to see like how fleshed out it is, see if I can find any nods to other things, which I'm sure are in there.
All the other games we have are yours, man. So
let me talk about Dogpile. Dogpile is one that I had my eye on for a little while. It
looks so cool.
It's so fun. Like, it is weirdly fun and also a lot more challenging than it seems like it would be. So Dogpile is a roguelike deck builder about merging small dogs into bigger dogs, basically.
Yeah.
So you're essentially playing like dog Tetris in a way, but in the sense that like you've got just this open kind of pit thing. I don't know what it is, a pin, I guess it would be. You have these cards that you're getting as resources, or like you're purchasing like from the dog cleaner or the dog shop or whatever it is, and those are what act as like either your dogs or your tools to like add different things to dogs or do different things. Like a bone, for example, if you give that to one of the dogs, it will give it dig. And what dig does is when you merge a dog that has dig, then it will automatically draw another card. And the reason you want to draw cards and keep drawing cards is because when your hand ends, then I think you have up to 5 hands, and you have to reach a certain point, a number of points of bone points, in order to like...
Love it, bone points.
Yeah, get to the dog cleaner, which will give you... That's kind of your roguelike aspect that gives you different like bonuses to the cards. Like it'll give them all like a set of 3 cards, like either like friendly, which if it's a friendly dog, it is automatically kind of magnetizes toward other dogs of its type. And just there's various like benefits and stuff you can get through that. But if you don't make the thing by 5 hands, if you don't meet that limit, then you have to take a negative aspect on. And obviously the more of those that stack, the harder it's going to be. The lose state is if you are stacking your dogs to the point where they go above a certain line, and then you have about 5 seconds, maybe a little bit more, before like your run is over. But you do have time if you can like draw cards and like get them merged or whatever fast enough to like not lose, if you can get it just under that line or something, or like merge it into something that makes it go under that line. So there is still a possibility to like survive those situations, but it can be super frantic when it gets to that point. It looks a lot easier than it is, but it is very enjoyable. It's not like difficult to the point of frustrating at all. It's just like seeing it as you like start to merge these dogs into bigger dogs, like they are literally bigger and will take up so much space where you're like, God, I need to merge this, or I need to move this over or something to get it out of the way because it is just taking up too much. And there's too many big dogs at the bottom of my pin that are not merged together because they're different types of dogs. And so I can't get down to it with this other big dog because there's another bigger dog in the way that's the wrong type, or there's a Chihuahua in the way, or whatever the case is. It can be really frantic, but super fun, and it's very cute. I love the art style of it.
Yeah, I love that.
That's Dogpile in a nutshell.
The one's got a little butthole. It's just so funny.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Next game I want to talk about is Sektori, and that's one I'm sure people have heard about. Like,
I've heard
leading up
so
to this
much
point
about this.
This is a fast-paced twin-stick shooter with like hard-hitting like techno music and like arcade action, where you're literally just like basically one hit from death all the time. You do get a shield that you have only so many charges of. And that will give you like a little bit of reprieve. If you get hit without a shield, it's automatic loss. And so the idea is just like surviving, depending on if you're doing like the campaign aspect of it or just like the little challenge modes. I think you have to do the campaign to a certain point before any of the challenges even unlock. So it's just going like level by level. You're getting things, you're adding things to your ship. You're trying to just survive wave after wave of enemies. There's a variety of things you can get to help you out, like you're powering up your speed or your missiles or just your main gun or just even your shielding, like stacking that as many times as you can as you go through it. So that's the roguelike aspect of it. And I think if you're a fan of arcade shooters or something like Geometry Wars and you want like a good challenge, I think you'll really appreciate this game. And plus the soundtrack's really cool too. This is another one that's just like really like scratches an itch for me because I can jump in, go through a run, see how high a score I can get, and then jump out and not feel like I've wasted any time, not feel like I have to immediately do another run. Sometimes I do anyway, but like it just doesn't take a lot of commitment to just have a good, satisfying run of that game.
From what I understand, so it's got leaderboards, and apparently Justin McElroy is on one of those leaderboards.
Oh yeah, he was like 12 on one of the boards. I can't remember which one he said, but I heard that on a recent episode where they were talking about it.
Yeah. Maybe you should personally go dethrone him.
Now I have to. I'm sure he's been dethroned by now. Like those leaderboards, you can't last up there. Let me talk about Baseless. So Baseless is one that I came across right after playing a demo of Shotgun Cop Man, because it's got a similar movement style where you have to move by shooting. Like that is literally like what's propelling you is shooting your gun. So you're kind of moving in the opposite direction of where you're shooting. And that's such a unique like feel for me because I had not played Shotgun Cop Man. I think it came out within the last 2 years, I think.
It came out this year.
Oh, it was this year? Okay, wow, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had never played it until just now. And I was like, oh, I really am enjoying this. And then I see that Baseless came out on December 4th. So I was like, oh, this looks kind of similar. Let me check it out. And it's also got a really satisfying feeling to it of, shooting to propel yourself, getting different sorts of like upgrades to your scarf. I don't know. You're like worshiping the Nile. It's such an interesting looking game. It's got such a like interesting art style to it. And it seems like there's more to the story than they're letting on, just by the way everything seems kind of like strange and out there. I'm very early on to this one, so I don't know really how deep that goes. But the core movement mechanic of it and having to essentially defy gravity and jump from little planet to planet as you're like shooting yourself around to achieve your mission, whatever that is. This is a new thing for me. These like physics-based action movement shooters, starting with with Shotgun Cop Man. I'm sure there are probably other games like it, but these are the first two I've played, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So another kind of hectic, satisfying game.
New genre unlocked.
Yeah, this will be the year of gravity shooters.
That's a good name for them, gravity shooters. That's good. I like that.
Final round.
All right, let's do our lightning round of a few other indie games that we wanted to talk about before we wrap things up. Real quick, I said I would touch back on a couple demos I talked about on the last episode, which was Acceptable Losses and Insider Trading. So I'll talk about those real quick. Insider Trading was the roguelike deck builder that was kind of like stock market themed. And so I played both of these today, actually. And Insider Trading was really interesting. There is so much I can tell you can do with this thing. And I know that this is going to be a very like make number go big kind of game. My downfall, this isn't a downfall of the game. This is a downfall of me as a person, is that a lot of the cards deal in percents, and I am not a numbers guy. So it is one of those kind of games where you are essentially, instead of like playing cards one by one, you are playing cards like in a line, and they like execute from left to right, and it's like 10 cards and stuff. Some of them are like negative effects, some of them are positive effects, and you have like a goal that you need to meet by the end of a week, and you have like 5 days to do it. Of like, making money and losing money, you have to like meet a threshold essentially, right? Like Balatro style. With it all being like percents and stuff of losing so much percents and multiplying percents and stuff, I'm like, oh no, brain hurt, brain make fuzzy. I was not great at it, but like someone that is good with crunchy numbers, someone like yourself, Joseph, I think that this is definitely one that you're going to find very interesting.
I do like numbers.
You love numbers. Let's not mess around here. You dream about numbers.
That's literally my job, and I like my job, which is
you
weird.
Love numbers so much. Yeah. Acceptable Losses was another one of the ones I was talking about, which was the World War I. You're kind of like an officer, and you are deciding who to deploy to certain jobs, and those escalate and are like, there's various like degrees of danger with those, and you were having to choose like who to send and stuff. This one was definitely more my jam. I really enjoyed this, and I was I got a bad rating. I got a 44 out of 100 on my my rating from the higher ups. But like, it is tough, man, because you are having to balance people's like morale and their like their bonds and stuff like that, like how bonded they are with everybody else in their unit and stuff. And some people will kind of, start rebelling and stuff, and you have to punish them, and there's also like another thing that you have to balance that's like, it's like there's sleep and stuff, which will affect like how good they can pull off some of these things. Cause sometimes it'll be like, a night job kind of thing. And it's like, oh man, I can't send the guys in this unit cause they're too tired. If I send them but if all of my guys are tired, it's like, I'm going to have to send some tired dudes because this has to be done. So I might be sending a bunch of dudes to their deaths, and some of them will die, and that's totally on you. And every time someone dives, like their name gets carved into your desk. So like you have to look at that name. So that sucked. Oh man, I felt awful.
I remember you talking about this one. It seems interesting for sure.
It's very cool. I really like that. As somebody that really likes games like Papers, Please, and 1998, A Toll Booth Story, like this is definitely one to look for next year for sure. One last thing I just want to bring up real quick is just a game that came out and I haven't got a chance to play it, and maybe I will soon. I don't know. So many games came out and I don't have time. This was Detective Instinct Farewell, My Beloved, from Harmonica. This came out November 26th. This is like a love letter to Ace Attorney and other kind of like detective style mystery games like that, visual novel kind of thing. Looks straight up like an Ace Attorney kind of game, and I love those games. So very, very excited to hopefully get a chance to play this one. 100% my jam. When COVID hit and like when I got COVID, however many years ago it's been, that was like my comfort game was playing the Ace Attorney games. Like I just blasted through those because I couldn't do anything else. I ate really spicy foods because it was all I could feel, and played as much Ace Attorney as I could and then slept.
That's a franchise I never got into. I appreciate it, but it's not a for me.
I don't think it's for you.
For sure.
Yeah. It's not a Joseph game because there's no action.
I know it's popular for a reason, so good for them.
Yeah.
What I want to bring to the table is Cult of the Lamb Woolhaven, which is the new expansion. Callie and I watched a trailer of it that showed so much, and the developers were like talking about it and everything, and it looked so fun. And there's been so much that's been added to Cult of the Lamb since I originally played it. Like so much has been changed, so much has been added. Like they made combat better. I don't even know what that means, but apparently combat's better now. And then this is all before this expansion even. So once this expansion comes out on January 22nd, I'm gonna be jumping right back into that world, starting fresh and just seeing what that whole experience is like now. Because I'm sure it's gonna be way different than it was in the first run.
And they were going to be adding co-op, I think, weren't they?
Yeah, they did add co-op as well.
Or they did already?
Yep.
Okay. So you should get Callie to play it with you.
Yeah, she's playing it like I think right now, actually.
Hell yeah.
She still loves that game. I had gotten her started on that game when we first started dating. So it's like that became her mild obsession for a little while.
Oh, nice. I finally got Rochelle to play Balatro, and it took me physically moving her and taking her to Las Vegas so she got to go to Las Vegas. She got the bug. She played, some poker stuff. And then we were like getting on the plane to come home. And I was just like, hey, you want that? You want to take that fun, but not lose all of our money and like make it more fun too and see all these silly jokers? And she's like, yeah, here you go. And she had a good time. So like, I finally did it. I'm so proud.
Nice. Another game I want to talk about. So Deadzone Rogue is a game that I had brought to the show at some point many moons ago. They just released, actually yesterday as of this recording, so December 17th, they released an update called Zone 4 Apophis, and it's a free update, and this is a game that I just super loved playing, like the base game version of it. It's a first-person shooter roguelike game, and so this one, it's like from your starting zone, you can go onto this like asteroid or something instead, and that's where this Zone 4 is. So it adds a whole new area of like tough enemies, expanded content. I haven't had a chance to play it yet because I just learned about it today, but it looks like a substantial chunk of content was added for free to a game that I already liked. So it's like, yeah, of course I'm going to jump into this and enjoy more of it. Why wouldn't I? Definitely worth checking out if you haven't, and free expansion. What's not to love?
What's not to love?
The last thing I want to talk about is Mamon King. This one came out of Mamon. Yeah, Mamon King. This one absolutely came out of nowhere for me, and it is a Monster Rancher-like, for lack of better description. And Monster Rancher is a game that a franchise that I super loved growing up. It was I think it was the first game that I ever bought for PlayStation, my first PS1. And Monster Rancher 2 is a game that I spent so much time in, which I think was a PS2 game. It might have been PS1 also. I don't remember. But yeah, I just love that franchise where you're just capturing and raising these monsters and then like battling them in tournaments. And then they will age over time and you have to like retire them. I don't know if that's how it works in this game, but you can retire them or freeze them and then combine them with other monsters to make different monsters. So it's a whole thing. But visually, it just has this charming, like, monster tamer aesthetic to it. And mechanically, I don't know a ton about it, but it looks like it even has a deck building sort of aspect to it, which Monster Rancher did not have. So it's more Monster Rancher in a sense that, like, what you're doing is, like, fighting other monsters and raising monsters in a tournament sense, but also going on, like, adventures with your monsters in what looks like a sort of a board game setup. And that was similar to the way exploration worked in Monster Rancher 2. It wasn't so much a board game setup, but it was like the same of like going out and like training your monster further outside of those battles. So this is one I actually picked up like a week ago, but I just haven't gotten to play it yet. So I'm excited to actually jump in and play this game once I have some time to.
And it has waifus, from what I can see.
All the best games do.
Yeah. Very cool, man. Yeah, I like the designs of these little critters. So,
looks fun.
Got good reviews. So,
and these are games that are already out because, like, literally, I looked like what's coming out next week, and it's like nothing of note for me personally. And I'm like, thank goodness I get a week of reprieve before January starts and the whole mess starts all over again.
Yeah, well, and it works out too because we're taking a little bit of break from the usual, and the next 2 episodes are going to be focused on Game of the Year kind of stuff. So we're going to be doing something like a little bit different, and we're going to be breaking down our favorite games of 2025 in a way that nobody else is doing, because like if we were just like, here's the best games of 2025, it'll be the same ones that everybody else has. Like it'll be Clear Obscure, it'll be Hollow Knight, it'll be Hades, it'll be, Blueprints. Some of those might appear on our list anyway. But what we're going to do is we're going to pick our personal favorite games of each month of 2025. And next week, we're going to start with January through June, I believe. And then the week after, we're going to finish out the year. There's going to be a couple other surprises in both episodes as well. So make sure you come back and listen to those to hear our favorites and those other goodies as well.
Game over.
If you had a good time listening to this episode, stick around for the bumper to learn how you can help support the show and all the things we do here at Nerd Sloth Creative. You can also check the show notes for our link tree, which will take you to our social media, Discord, merch store, and all the other cool stuff. Get in touch with us, though, and let us know what indie games you're playing and help us elevate these games so we can help support the indie game devs making them. That's game over for us. My name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
And we'll continue on the next episode.
Continue.
Indie Game Arcade is recorded and produced by Nerd Sloth Creative. If you're looking for more gaming content, head over to youtube.com/nerdsloth for indie game let's plays and recommendations. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/nerdsloth, where you can select a pledge and receive access to hundreds of hours of bonus content from everything at Nerd Sloth Creative. If you're an indie game developer and would like us to review your game or explore other opportunities, send an email to nerdslothcreative@gmail.com with the subject line Indie Game Arcade. Thanks for listening, and keep supporting indie game devs.